Good morning. We are continuing this week of hope, the first week of Advent, and I want to talk a little bit today about Chronos and Kairos. Chronos is human time. It's what the clock does, tick, 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 tick. So many of us get caught up in Chronos, particularly this time of year. There are presents to buy and decorations to put up and plans to be made. Church time tends to speed up at this time of year as we're trying to plan special services and make every service special. And it can cause all kinds of anxiety and worry and fear. But Kairos is God's time. Kairos is eternity, and God gives us the opportunity to experience eternity now. Kairos can break into our lives now if we will let it. I love in The Lord of the Rings when the wizard Gandalf shows up for the first time. I want you to quickly see this little scene.
You're late.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
A wizard is never late or never early, but arrives precisely when he intends to. That's exactly the way God works with us. And then the way that scene ends in joy and laughter also is exactly how God works with us. I want to try to quickly tell you a Kairos story. Our son David was our foster child, as many of you know, and we picked him up from the hospital at 9 days old, intending to be his foster parents for a while, and then he would go back to his mother. But then after a year passed, and then a year and a half passed, and we still had him, the agency said, you may need to decide whether you want to adopt this child, because we don't know that his mother is going to be able to complete her service plan and get him back. And we immediately decided we would, and then a month or two later they came back to us and said, his mother's doing a little better, and we think after Christmas of this year, in the new year, he will be able to go home to her. He would have almost been 2 years old at that point. And Chronos really attacked us. We could feel the clock ticking, and we spent our last Thanksgiving with David and our last Christmas with David, and we could just feel the clock ticking almost like it was coming up to our execution date. After Christmas, his mother vanished for a while, and it was then that finally the state decided this just isn't working, and nearly a year later we finally were able to adopt him, and there was so much joy and laughter in that. But during that time when we thought we were going to lose David, one of the things that we just had to recognize was that we had him for a short time, and we had given him all the love and care we could, and we just had to trust that God's Kairos would be with him, that he had received love and acceptance and joy with us, and that no matter what he had to face, and we were plenty worried about what he might have to face without us, that God would be with him. In Galatians 4 through 5, Paul tells us, but when the fullness of time had come, God sent his Son, born of a woman, born under the law, in order to redeem those who were under the law, so that we might receive adoption as children. All of us are facing things and situations and difficulties that we probably don't want to face, and Chronos is attacking us in one way or another. Hear the wonderful Kairos here. In the fullness of time, God had a plan for us, and God made that plan for us come true through Jesus Christ. And each one of us can now receive adoption as children in God's time. And that can only lead to joy and laughter. What are you hoping for this day? You can hope because God is with you.